Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week, when Martin makes a scene and Vanessa risks it all. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, May 26th to Friday, May 30th, 2025. Something must have happened between Martin and Smitty about all of Smitty's questions regarding Bill Hamilton's insinuations. Martin must have lost his mind, because next week he walks into the Fairmont Crest Country Club's dining room and makes a scene. Having a go at Bill, Martin says to the room, "I might have done a terrible thing one night, but this man," and points at Bill. Bill checks Martin and reminds him to mind his surroundings. Astute viewers will notice one of the staff members in the background is none other than the new cast member Jason Vendry's character, Kenny, always watching. Meanwhile, Vanessa and Joey are at the high rollers table in the casino, and Vanessa is winning big. Joey congratulates her on being a natural, amidst Vanessa saying maybe she does take risks after all. We see the pair tearing at each other's clothes to get undressed. Vanessa really is risking it all. Haley's making another pregnancy announcement is the only thing that could have Naomi confronting her father and his new wife in his offices. Naomi challenges Bill with, "Am I supposed to throw my stepmother a baby moon girls trip now?" Dani won't take the news well and tells Haley that she should take a test right now in front of her. Or if she wants to prove that she is a liar, she can just say no. The news that Haley is pregnant has raised all sorts of red flags for the Duprees. Leslie told Kat that Eva was the one riding the motorcycle and ran Laura off the road. But she denied it to Detective Jacob Hawthorne, and then came as close to admitting it to Ted as possible. Eva has no option but to try to remain one step ahead of her mother, or she could be dragged into a jail cell at this rate. Eva takes it upon herself and employs the same method as her mom, using a spare key to access Leslie's apartment. "Always have a spare, that's what you taught me, Mama." Eva muses to herself. What was she doing there? Attempting to make sure she's not implicated in her mom's crimes is what? Next week, Leslie will confront Eva and growl, "What did you do with my helmet and gloves?" I wonder where those will turn up. Nice play, Eva. Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama. Here's what went down Friday, May 23, 2025 on Beyond the Gates, when Smitty got tired of Martin's deflection. Doug caught on to the heat between Vanessa and Joey, and Ted vowed to protect Eva from Leslie. On Beyond the Gates, Leslie reminded Ted of the good times they'd had, including how they'd once had to grab a hotel room because they couldn't wait to get back to Leslie's place to have sex. Ted didn't want to hear Leslie's suggestion that they take advantage of Eva's hotel room and came down on Leslie for throwing Eva on the street. Leslie averred that she had only evicted Eva from their apartment, not her life. Leslie loved Eva with everything in her. The mother claimed that she had only come to check on the well-being of her daughter. Ted suspected otherwise and dumped out Leslie's purse, revealing her stash from the hotel. He wanted his ex-mistress to be real and demanded to know why she had told Kat lies about Eva running Laura off the road, especially when Eva had a solid alibi. Leslie said something about being glad Eva wasn't living a life of crime, and was dismissive when Ted said he'd only rented Eva a chair at the bougie salon, not bought her the whole establishment. As Leslie went on about Ted helping Eva so he could assuage his guilt, Ted pointed out that Leslie was coming off as more suspicious the more she pivoted, so Ted directly accused Leslie of causing Laura's accident. Leslie denied being responsible as Ted raged about Leslie hurting Laura, who had been an innocent victim of Leslie's revenge plot against him. Leslie told Ted that if he ran his mouth about his accusation, she would make sure Eva took even more heat about the assault on Laura. Ted was incredulous that Leslie could do that to her own child, and promised that he would protect Eva from Leslie, calling her a crazy bitch. "Oh, that's Miss Bitch," Leslie corrected after Ted declared he would do whatever he had to do to deal with Leslie if she went after him or his family, which included Eva. An angry Leslie returned home and gave herself a pep talk while looking in her mirror, dubbing herself a beautiful and powerful queen. She went through her different personas, wondering which one Ted might prefer. Leslie then dressed up like Nicole and mocked the psychiatrist, a cast that Ted wanted the real Nicole instead. Nicole uttered therapeutic keywords and offered Ted the choice of the original boring Nicole or the new and improved Nicole 2.0, her. The Duprees got playful in their foyer while Tracy waited for Anita in the living room. Vernon regretted having to leave because he felt he could be a buffer between Anita and her former co-singer. But Anita felt that she and Tracy were past the awkwardness of meeting again after so long. After Vernon left, Tracy remarked that Anita's grand piano probably cost more than the whole building they used to rehearse in. As Tracy continued that Anita had come a long way since she'd lived in Chicago's Cabrini Green projects, Anita sensed that Tracy held some resentment over Anita's status. Tracy wasn't sure Anita had earned the right to live like black royalty once Anita had left the Articulettes and gone solo. She groused that it must have been nice for Anita to rack up Grammys while she had had to take a job at the Blue Room. And Tracy continued, every time she managed to book her own gig, she'd get asked about Anita. She recognized her own talent, but also that she lacked that certain something Anita had that had made Dante Green see dollar signs. When Anita defended her decision to leave the group, Tracy understood that decision, but clarified that Anita had made it at the worst possible time. Anita tried to make Tracy see that she had come to feel she was drowning. After what happened, Anita confessed she couldn't look at Tracy or Sharon. Tracy said that Anita had run, but Anita copped to being overwhelmed by guilt and needing to lose herself in her work, which she could no longer do in the Articulettes. Tracy didn't buy the reasoning and suggested that Anita had gone further in her career because she had been ruthless. Tracy said that Anita had taken the opportunity when Dante Green viewed her as a solo act and thrown Sharon and Tracy away. There she is, Tracy Ehad, when Anita revealed that, after years in the group, she wanted something that was her own. Anita felt for her fellow Articulettes being hung out to dry in the music business after she left, but she had wanted to erase every trace of growing up a nobody in the projects. After Anita expressed regret that her sisters had been collateral damage, Tracy cried, "But it wasn't just Sharon and me, was it?" Smitty continued working on his exposé about groomers taking advantage of kids on social media, which impressed Martin. When Smitty lamented how some of his subjects had clammed up, Martin mentioned that Smitty could be overwhelming when he got into reporter mode and suggested that he ease off. Martin wanted to get romantic, but Smitty wanted to talk, which prompted Martin to say that he had his own Zoom meetings to take. Smitty noticed the contradiction. Just as he seemed to get through to Martin, Vernon arrived to help Samantha with a history paper. Vernon told Samantha about how his father, Paul Cheeks Dupree, had organized one of the biggest protest rallies Chicago ever had in 1972, because one of the Windy City's major department stores wouldn't let black people work there unless it was in the stockroom. Martin interrupted, perturbed that his Zoom meetings had all been canceled. "Suddenly, folks are spooked to even talk to me," he grumbled. Smitty privately suggested that he and Martin go out to lunch so they could speak alone, but Martin overrode his husband and invited Vernon and Samantha to join them. Smitty was not happy. At the hospital, Shanice marveled at how Doug had participated in June's heart surgery while his hand was still in a cast. Now, with Doug's hand healed, Vanessa was supposed to meet Doug for a celebration, but she was nowhere to be found. She was at Orphe Jeans with Joey, having just come from meeting with the owners of a building Joey was interested in. Joey couldn't decide if, based on the negotiating skills he had witnessed, she was brilliant or dangerous, which was part of what intrigued him about her. Shanice had a ball gossiping about Ander and some of the interns, which Doug overheard. After Shanice got back to work, she told the departing Doug that Vanessa had not been by, as Doug had hoped. Across town, Joey went on about how Vanessa had the ability to make people eat out of the palm of her hand, a comment he made as he took her hand. The two continued flirting. Then Doug came into the diner, once again witnessing the sparks flying between his wife and his creditor. Vanessa apologized to the stony Doug for letting her appointment with Joey overshadow the commemoration of Doug's cast coming off. "It's not like I wanted to steal your wife or anything," Joey added mock playfully. Doug declined Vanessa and Joey's invitation to sit with them, snarking to Vanessa that at least people at the hospital needed him. Martin, Smitty, Samantha, and Vernon passed a rude Doug on his way out. Vernon saw Joey and Vanessa together and suspected Doug's mood had something to do with them. Samantha, Vernon, and Smitty all were of the opinion that something untoward was going on between Vanessa and Joey, though Martin considered a more sinless explanation. "Maybe if you'd stop avoiding the obvious," Smitty snapped. "Some of us don't want to turn everything into a federal investigation." Martin sassed back as his daughter and grandfather watched. Joey advised an apologetic Vanessa to go after Doug if that's what she really wanted. Vanessa coyly said she didn't want to, but should. As Vanessa left, Smitty continued to sense something off with the realtor and the casino owner, causing Martin to spout, "Some folks need to learn to let sleeping dogs lie." Smitty retorted, "And some folks need to be honest when something isn't right." Trying to break the tension, Samantha told Vernon about the growing friendship between Tyrell and Jessica, and Vernon told the sniping Richardson Smiths about Anita's long overdue visit with Tracy. After their meal, Smitty got Vernon to take Samantha with him so he could have a moment with Martin. The patriarch understood, and Smitty informed Martin that this time, Martin wasn't getting out of their talk. Later, Shanice got Ted's attention at the nurse's station and asked about the status of Ander's documentary. Ted noted that there would be a screening once Andrew had completed his post-production. Shanice wanted to know if she came off as capable or like an idiot in the footage, and called Ted a charmer when he reported that Shanice had handled herself like a boss. Just then, Vanessa stormed in and called Ted a clueless son of a bitch for what he had done to Nicole. Ted let her vent about how often Nicole had talked Ted up, only for him to cheat on her. He said he would never be able to forgive himself after decimating Nicole. Shanice watched the whole flare-up. After Ted exited, Vanessa glued on a fake smile, but Shanice saw Vanessa's upset and asked if everything was all right between Vanessa and Doug. Vanessa maintained her facade when Shanice mentioned that Doug had left the hospital a while back to look for Vanessa. He wasn't back on duty, as he'd implied he would be earlier. Mrs. McBride called Mr. McBride, but got his voicemail and chose not to leave a message. In the upcoming week of Beyond the Gates, a chain of events is expected to unravel in the CBS soap opera storyline, leading to shocking turns and twists. Smitty starts getting suspicious when Martin avoids the former's questions. While Ashley and Derek discuss their relationship, Dani warns Bill about Haley. The episodes of Beyond the Gates from last week presented a series of emotional roller coasters. Derek and Ashley reached their limit, and mounting tensions resulted in a deadly confrontation. On the other hand, Eva leaned on Thomas, who believed in her, seeking comfort, clarity, and hope. In the meantime, the Duprees struggle through heartbreak and harsh truths, as family secrets threaten to break them apart. Elsewhere, Nicole, Ted, and Kat wondered whether Leslie's actions were just the beginning. Later, Doug started suspecting Joey's questionable friendship with his wife. At the beginning of the week on Beyond the Gates, there will be no preview of the daytime drama. No new episode will be aired due to a day off on behalf of a national holiday. However, viewers should buckle up to witness more drama, as plenty of juicy stuff will be coming up during the rest of the week. Meanwhile, Bill will drop a few insinuations about Martin's past. However, when Smitty tries getting answers from his husband, Martin will dodge Smitty's questions about Bill's insinuations. On the other hand, Haley will share some unexpected news, which is expected to shock Chelsea and throw her for a loop. Lastly, Kat will finally let her guard down with Thomas. In the middle of the week on Beyond the Gates, Smitty will become very suspicious. Although Martin refuses to answer his questions, Smitty will be eager to learn the truth about Martin's past. Still struggling to digest what Chelsea has learned, she will inform Dani about the scoop. Chelsea's statement will surprise Dani, and the latter will start doubting reality. As the storyline progresses, Dani will share her thoughts about Haley with Bill. It is expected that Dani will issue an unwarranted warning to Bill about Haley. Meanwhile, Doug will make up his mind to take a risk with Joey. Elsewhere, Kat and Jacob will start uncovering more intel about Laura's attack. Later, Leslie will attempt to pull Ted back into her web. By the end of the week on Beyond the Gates, Kat will finally uncover a crucial piece of evidence during her investigation, which is expected to create big trouble for Leslie. As Ted struggles to fix his relationship with Nicole, he will be unable to think of ways to repair their bond. Ted will get worried about losing Nicole forever. Later, Anita will fear that her past could come to the surface and impact her life by derailing her future. In Beyond the Gates this week, emotional fault lines ruptured across the Dupree family and beyond. What began with simmering tension exploded into open warfare, from Leslie's increasingly erratic behavior to Eva's difficult choice that could ripple through generations. The quiet corners of the mansion offered no escape, as even long-dormant pasts returned to haunt the present. With Doug piecing together a betrayal he never expected, Chelsea speaking her truth, and Dani stirring the pot with a kiss no one saw coming, Beyond the Gates delivered suspense and soap theatrics. Here's a breakdown of all the bombshells dropped from May 19 to 23 and what they could mean going forward. Kat and Tom's reignited their spark in a moment that reminded fans why they fell in love with this couple to begin with. But while one romance caught fire, another flickered out. Ashley and Derek's relationship hit a major wall as their move-in experiment went wrong. This once promising pair appears to be hurtling toward an ugly end. Meanwhile, Dani sought clarity about her confusing dynamic with Ander, questioning whether their situationship has real potential. Doug, on the other hand, was busy trying to contain the fallout from his increasingly tangled lies. With the house of poker cards he's built threatening to collapse, he scrambled to maintain control. Leslie, ever defiant, declared she isn't backing down without a fight. And knowing Leslie, that fight's bound to leave casualties. Eva's birthday brought a moment of tenderness thanks to Tom's thoughtful surprise. But the rest of her day was anything but serene. With Leslie stepping up her campaign to frame her daughter, Eva turned to the one person who still believes her, even though that choice could come at a serious cost. Meanwhile, Anita cracked open the door to a past she's long tried to forget. Whether this leads to redemption or more emotional upheaval remains to be seen. As for Ashley, let's just say heartbreak is only getting started. Eva stands at a crossroads regarding her mother, a decision that could reshape the entire Dupree family dynamic. This emotional turning point may change how viewers see both women moving forward. Ashley and Derek were finally forced to confront some harsh truths about their imploding relationship. Meanwhile, Chelsea opens up about her identity even as it brings emotional pain. But nothing shocked viewers more than Dani planting a kiss on Pamela. Whether this was a heat-of-the-moment spark or something more will likely unfold in the weeks to come. Ted and Nicole joined forces in their shared mission to bring Leslie down. But the war is far from over, especially as Eva stands ready to go head-to-head with her mother, who remains firmly planted on the throne of Delululand. Elsewhere, Anita and Tracy's attempt at a reunion forced them to confront the pain that tore them apart. It's a delicate process, but one they both seem determined to navigate. Kat, Nicole, and Ted are shaken by a terrifying possibility. What if they've only seen the beginning of Leslie's madness? Leslie begins to eerily mirror Nicole's persona, taking on traits that leave everyone around her shaken. Is this calculated mimicry or the sign of a full psychological break? Anita and Tracy finally confront the reason behind their long-ago falling out, but old wounds prove hard to heal. Meanwhile, Doug began to pick up on the chemistry between Vanessa and Joey. What he suspects may change everything. And Ted, refusing to hold back any longer, leveled a potentially devastating accusation at Leslie. What happens next could change the course of the entire Dupree saga. With betrayals unfolding, secrets unraveling, and loyalties shifting like sand, Beyond the Gates continues to deliver powerhouse drama at every turn. As Ava reclaims her voice, Anita reopens emotional wounds, and Leslie teeters on the edge, next week is shaping up to be even more explosive. Stay tuned. The real storm may just be beginning. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.